Guys, thank you for clicking this video. My name is mostlydarius. This is the discussion, and we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey season 14. Not so much the finale. We're going to talk about how I feel about the cast, and then if I want to see them in a reboot, and I'll give pros and cons for each cast member. And then at the end, I'll probably talk about like what I see for the future of this cast, this show, and Bravo in general. So I'm going to go by the picture that you see, and we're going to go from Rachel all the way to the Danielle, and then yeah, I'll just give my thoughts on each person. So I'm going to start off with Rachel Fuda. I think a pro is that her family dynamic is unique because she is trying to adopt her husband's son. So that's, different. Like, you don't see every day a woman trying to adopt their husband's son. So I think that's really unique. I think that that's something that we should see on TV. She was being very vulnerable. I think a lot of people forgot about that because they didn't show too much of it. They were too much focused on like the biological mom instead because of the stuff that she was out here running her mouth about, telling rumors, and it was just like a whole bunch of mess that I feel like we focused on this season where we could have focused on things that were actually, stories. But that's neither here nor there. I give her props for standing up to Teresa. That's a pro, because to stand up to Teresa, you got to be bold. Like, you got to be able to wear that. Like, you got to be able to take what's going to come from the fans, because like it gets really nasty and really toxic whenever anyone gets into anything with her, and it kind of like it can consume you for your time on the show. So I got to give her props for that. So that's a pro. And the fact that her husband, John Fuda, the fact that he clocks in, that's also a pro, because he also helps make her storylines interesting. He brings the drama, he brings the entertainment. So, that's good. Like, it's always good to have a husband that clocks in. They also make a good pair too. Like, I like them in a marriage together. Like, they got each other's backs. They ride for each other. So for that reason, I like that. That's a pro that her husband clocks in. And I said that the viewers don't like her, but it's not for a bad reason. It's because she stood up to Teresa. That's a pro and a con. Like I said, it can consume your time on Bravo if you go after Teresa. There's always going to be a hint of aggression behind that with the viewers. So it's just like, it can be a pro, but it can also be a con. A highlight that was for Rachel this season was when she read Teresa at that table. The one Teresa was just sitting there like she ain't had shit to say. Like, that was a fucking that was a highlight. That was a highlight. That was not the one when she was with her husband and Louis and Teresa. I'm talking about where it was all the girls and it was Teresa and it was Rachel, and they were going at it. Teresa ain't had shit to say. Teresa had to get up and go. She said she had to do something for her daughters, but still, girl, you had to. She ran your out of that seat. Would I like to see Rachel on a reboot? Yes, I would like to see Rachel on a reboot because she is a fresh face. We only got to know Rachel. I think she just came in last season, right? And this is the second season. She's done good for me this season. We'll be able to still see her with another cast. It won't feel like it's random, but it's also a face that we know from previous New Jersey seasons. It might not be the faces that we want all the way, but it's a face that we know, and so I think it will work for that reason. And she's younger. So I think Rachel, she's pretty cool. Like, I don't mind Rachel too much. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about Marge now. I think that the fact that Marge is quick, witty, and she's always steps ahead, like, that's a pro. That's a good housewife, because she's gonna clock in and work. Marge goes to the time clock, she punches in and does her job, and then she goes home. Like, Marge clocks in. So for that reason, Marge is always gonna be on my list. Like, I love that about her. She shows emotion. That's a pro. She has a smart mouth. Marge's mouth is so smart, yo. Like, I think that she's problematic, which is a pro and a con, because you gotta be a little problematic to be a housewife. Not to say you have to be a little problematic to be a housewife, but come on, y'all, let's not act like we don't love our problematic housewives. I'm sorry. I mean, the way Marge goes about, like, the way she's friends with people, like, it's not like she's possessive. Like, she's slightly possessive, I want to say. I don't want to like deem her like totally possessive, but like the way she makes her friends, like, I'm not gonna say choose a side, but like she kind of forces their hand, which I'm not too mad at, because it kind of is like, if you're my friend, show me loyalty. But I feel like the way she was doing Jim Fessler was a little bit, like, in hindsight, a little bit OD. And when I say OD, I mean that she was overdoing it, because I really wasn't liking Jim Fessler until I started liking Jim Fessler and I understood her position in the group, and I was like, maybe Marge was a little bit too hard on her, but I could also understand where Marge was coming from. So that's why I don't want to be like, because it's like some of the stuff that Marge does is understandable, which is why I kind of like really like her on the show. And I think that her marriage with Joe B is pretty cool. I don't think what they did to their spouses was cool, but I think the fact that you can see how much they love each other on camera, I think that's pretty cool, because honestly, like, not many people are gonna love you after cheating on your spouse. So the fact that they did it to each other is kind of like, damn, like, might want to stick it in there real quick. Pause, wait, pause, not like that, but you might want to hang in there as far as the relationship goes, because they probably know a lot about each other. They probably know each other's demons, and you can tell they really care for each other. Like, and they're another good pairing. Like, I like their marriage a lot. On camera, it just translates they really care about each other. Like, you can tell Marge really doesn't want her husband to have cancer. You can tell that Joe always got Marge back. Like, when Joe told Dolores, hey, check your phone, because Marge sent a screenshot, like, that was so funny. They pushed Danielle's husband in they pushed Danielle's husband in a pool together. Like they just come together. They're a duo. And you know, Joe don't have to say too much. Joe doesn't say too much. He lets Marge handle everything else, and whenever it's time to get busy is when Joe pops up and he gets busy. So I like that for them. The season highlights for me, for Marge, is when she sent the screenshot to Dolores. That was fucking, that was just that was like the best shit all season for me, to be honest. And then when she sent the flowers to Teresa, that was my shit right there too. I like that. That was clever. That was funny. That's how you do TV. That's how you do Housewives. Love it. But would I take Marge for a reboot? Maybe in a friend of capacity. I'll maybe in a friend of capacity, but I don't want any old drama on the new cast. So I don't know, Marge, and I love Marge, I really do. I don't even want them to get a reboot, because I feel like we can really work with Marge and the cast that we have now. I really feel like these girls can really get it together, or the network can find a way to make this shit work. I really don't want them to go, but would I put Marge in my reboot? I'm gonna have to say no, and I hate to say that, but if we're gonna be doing the reboot around Rachel and a few other girls on the cast, I don't know about Marge specifically on there, just because it's like, maybe if a cameo, maybe that'll work. I'll take a cameo of Marge, or maybe she can pop up into a house scene, but I don't know if I would want Marge in the drama. I don't know, but Jersey is like so big but so small, to the point where it's like, that's why I'm nervous with the recasting for Bravo, but we'll get to that later on. So no, I wouldn't put Marge in the reboot, long story short. So we can move on to Melissa. Melissa having Joe Gorga as her husband is a pro. Like, Joe brings all the guys together. He is interesting. Like Rachel's husband, he clocks. And he's also related to another housewife that's full-time on the show. So for that reason, that's, you know, interesting. That's a dynamic. I think that, you know, Melissa's a likable girl, but I think she does good on the side, but I don't think that she has like that wow factor. Like, I think Melissa is one of those people that's way better off camera. Like, I feel like if it was a party and I was with Melissa, I would have so much fun with Melissa, but not on the show. Like, I don't think Melissa is that girl on the show, and I hate to say that, because it's gonna give the tree huggers some satisfaction and be like, see, she doesn't make the show, blah, 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 blah. But it's also like, I gotta be honest, like, Melissa, I was writing my list for you and I really couldn't find too many pros. That's not trying to diss you, but that's just the truth. But I do think that you did good on like Ultimate Girls Trip, so like, I don't think Bravo or NBC should wash their hands with you completely. Like, I don't think it's that serious. I also think it would be fair. And I think that another pro that for you was the fact that you had your sister-in-law as a full-time cast member, but it's also a con. So like, it can help you guys, because it's like, it's interesting. Like, everybody looks at Jersey like, oh, that's the show with the sisters on it, like Teresa and Melissa, like da 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 da. Like, that's how people look at their show. So I feel like it helped them in that aspect, because they had a different dynamic with the cast, but it also hurt them so much because it's like, the fact that it's two sisters and it's like, this is real family drama, like, this is real. Like, I feel like that's why Kyle and Kim, they had to get off the same show, because it was like two full-time cast members. So it was kind of like, it was just messy as hell. And when family's involved, like, it's just not good for the cast, because picking sides, it always really, like, you can't pick sides. You can pick sides with friends, but because like, it's Bravo, like, you know, it's either you get with it or get lost. But like, when it comes to family and you gotta pick sides, especially on a TV show, it's not the same. Like, it's like, it kind of puts a little bit of pressure on you now, because it's not like I said, you're not coming through your sister as a storyline. Like, y'all are both cast members, so it makes things a little more shaded than it needs to be. So I think that's a pro and a con that her and Teresa, you know, had that sister dynamic. But, you know, some season highlights for Melissa was the home events. Her house is fucking gorgeous. Like, Melissa fucking Gorga has an amazing house. Like, bro, her her house looks so nice. So for that reason, I think that a lot of the highlights for her this season was the home events. I think that the guys' game night was fun, and also the housewarming event was really cool too, because that was like the unraveling of the house. Like we got to see everything. So, should I say unraveling? Maybe I mean it's the reveal. Yeah, the reveal. For the reboot, I think Melissa has to go. We have to get rid of that sister dynamic. I don't think it would seem fair if we keep one of the sisters and not the other. So we gotta go. I don't know if viewers will watch if she's there, but Teresa isn't there. So, for that reason, Melissa can go off of the reboot. I don't think she, has a place on here. I mean, she could possibly fit on the reboot, but I don't want old drama. So next up we have Dolores. I love Dolores. Okay, everybody called Dolores Black Dolores. We gotta stop doing that. But I think that it's a pro and a con that Dolores is the matriarch of the group, because it's like, to be the matriarch, you kind of got to play both sides in a way, or be able to be the voice of reason. And people like always depend on you for that, and it's not an easy job as a cast member to be the person that everybody's dependent on to be the voice of reason. So I got to give Dolores that. It's a pro and a con. I think that her family dynamic with Frank Sr. and the kids is pretty unique. I would give it a pro. I think that's a good reason to keep Dolores around on the show. But I don't like that we've been seeing not a lot of Frank this season. It's like, is he easing out of the picture when it comes to Dolores' storyline? Like, I don't know what that's about. I know that he's got like his whole wife and everything. That situation is going on. So like, congrats to him. But I don't know if like he doesn't want to be filming anything like that because of that reason. I don't know. I think that's a con though, if we don't get to see Frank and the kids. So I think she has the unique family dynamic. That's a pro. But if we don't get to see Frank, that's a con, because just like Joe makes Melissa, Frank Sr. kind of makes Dolores a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, because Dolores has her own like way in the group too. But it's Housewives, and her dynamic with her ex-husband is really interesting. It always had everybody guessing and talking. And on top of that, I think Frank just said in an interview that he was with Dolores, Paulie, and Paulie's ex-wife on fucking St. Patrick's Day. So that is crazy.
Okay, listen, I'm going to spill some of the beans here, right?
Paulie, yeah, I'm ready.
Paulie, you might get mad at me, Paulie, on this one, but listen. Everybody knows Paulie came out, all right, initially, and had a problem with the relationship Dolores and I had, all right? Well, why you guys so close? Why this and that, all right? So, I'm like, bro, it's got nothing to do with a sexual or any kind of attraction. Dolores is one of the most important people to me in my life, and she's the mother of my children. So that's why I want to stay close. And Paulie initially had a problem with that. As time went on and Paulie saw how Dolores and I interact, I think he felt more comfortable, and that's all I wanted. So this last Easter, listen to this. This last Easter, that's right, Paulie, I'm going to say it, okay? We all go to Dolores's, all right? So Dolores is there, my children are there, Paulie's there, his beautiful young boys, right? He's got great two young men, they're not even boys, all right, are there. And you know who else is there? Paulie's wife.
Oh, really? Oh, I love that. So you guys are all so close.
I gotta be honest with you. And she's Joanne, all right? She's a lovely woman. She's a lovely woman. She's there. And honestly, and I said, Paulie, wow, this is somewhat, hypocritical. And he goes, I'm wrong. And Paulie's a man that way. I gotta be honest with you. Paulie doesn't pull punches.
But I think Paulie's a con to Dolores. Although it's interesting that Dolores is still willing to like just still be with this guy, even though he won't get rid of his wife. Whatever, she's grown. But I think that's the interesting part about it, is seeing a person that's grown as Dolores make decisions like Paulie in her life. So for that reason, he's a con. But damn, could it be a pro for a storyline? I don't know, because I don't know if we want to see you like that, Dolores, continuously. But then it makes for good TV. Like, we didn't want to see Sheree with Tyrone over Housewives of Atlanta like that, but it also made for good TV. So I don't know. So I'm going to give it a pro and a con, actually. I'll give it a pro and a con. The highlights for Dolores this season was when she brought the bottle to the housewarming and the card to the housewarming. That was a highlight. And then the other highlight was the recent sit-down she had with Marge in the finale. Oh my God. Dolores clocked in. Oh, and that's another pro, that she can clock in and fight when necessary. Like, Dolores is no punk. She's no slouch or no slob, as Jackie would say. Like, she really taps in when necessary. So for that reason, I give her a pro for that too. But yeah, the other highlight for this season was when she sat down with Marge. Baby, that, like, the uncensored version, y'all need to watch the uncensored version on Peacock. Bro, Dolores started eating. But I think that I don't know if it's because she got caught that she was saying, because remember, you guys gotta remember, she did this to Danielle too. She was like, welcome back, scumbag, like, oh, you're a liar, I never said that about Teresa. She got so angry. So I don't know if Dolores gets angry because she's lying or because she's telling the truth. But I'm gonna just go with she's getting angry because she's telling the truth. But she let that Marge thing slide, so I don't know. I got a feeling Marge maybe did tell her. I don't know, because I feel like, I don't know. But would I keep Dolores for a reboot? I said that I love her, but she can go too, because my ideal boot would be Danielle and Rachel, and I don't see how Dolores will fit in a new group. Not to say that she's not a good housewife, but I don't want to see her play Switzerland in another group. Like, I only like watching her play Switzerland with this group. And, but who's to say she won't have an individual problem with another, like, castmate if she is chosen for the reboot? But I don't know. I still would say no. Love Dolores down. Like I said, I don't even want this cast to be rebooted, so I would definitely keep her. But I don't know how I would keep her around with the group of girls that I want, what I'm thinking should be the group of girls in the future for New Jersey. So yeah. No, wouldn't put her on the reboot. Love her though. Definitely would put her elsewhere, like Traders. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see Dolores on Traders. I would put Dolores on a fucking dating show, bro. Like that thing Tamar, what was it? Tamar, K. Michelle, and what was the lady name? Oh, Nivea. I would put her on something like that, or like a game show. Dolores is competitive, so to see her on Traders, I can't wait to see that. She's athletic, yeah. I can't wait to see that, yeah. So I could take Dolores doing that. Dolores could be like a host, like for Love Island, I guess. I don't fucking know. Dolores could do a lot though, because playing Switzerland really worked out in her favor because she comes off as a neutral energy anyway. So for that reason, she could do a lot within the like NBC Universal umbrella, and I could see that for her. Like that bubble is gonna be, I don't think that we're not gonna see Dolores again. She has a good relationship with the network, I feel. So for that reason, I think we're gonna see her. But I wouldn't put her in my reboot though. The next person we can move to is Teresa. I said that it's a con that Teresa doesn't take any accountability, like her brother said in the finale. Like when he was talking about if something was going on with the kids, like she wouldn't tell him, or she would have too much pride to admit it. I think pride is Teresa's problem, and who's that? Who am I to say? Like I have pride too. Like I think we all have pride to a certain extent, but Teresa takes no accountability. She's just unbelievably like. I don't want to say she's unbelievably dense because I don't want to be offensive, but like that's how it comes off. Like Teresa just doesn't fucking get it. Like she doesn't get the common sense of it all, and that shit annoys me because it's just like she goes off without knowing the full thing or knowing like what she should be going off for. Like she doesn't always have all the facts, and that was proven with this thing she just did with Marge. Like she had a whole meeting against Marge with some quote unquote facts from a lawyer, just for it to turn out to be something totally different. But that's neither here nor there. That's the con. She doesn't take any accountability, and I don't like that. She never has. But she has a really, really good relationship with her daughters. A good mother-daughter relationship. So that's a pro. I think that, seeing her kids go through what they went through on the show, like, that's not easy to do, to open your life up like that. That's a pro. She's not afraid to open up her real life to us. And so I think that for that reason, and the fact that she has a good relationship with her daughters, I think that she should be able to stay. But I also think that they could do that like on maybe another show, because the Real Housewives of New Jersey, I don't know, it's not working. And I think Teresa has to go, just like Melissa has to go, because of that sister combo. It's not gonna be fair to keep one. I think it's a pro that Teresa has a lot of funny moments, don't get me wrong, but the biggest con and red flag of it all is fucking Louis. Louis has to go. I'm sorry, but the only reason I would keep Teresa around, like the next person we're going to talk about, is to see her marriage crumble on camera, because that's good TV, of course, right? Nobody wants to see that for her in real life. I'm not saying I want it to crumble. I'm just saying I can see it crumbling, and if it was to happen in real life, of course we would want to see it on TV. Like, duh, this is entertainment at the end of the day. But I'm not wishing that on her, but it just seems like every problem in her life keeps coming behind fucking Louis. If it wasn't Melissa, it was coming behind Louis. And I just feel like Teresa has worked so hard to get herself out of the predicament that she was put in from her last husband, a situation that I would hate to see her go backwards. But at the end of the day, like, that's her life. Just like Dolores. Like, I love Dolores down, but like, it's chaotic over there in her love life. So for that reason, maybe I want to keep her on TV just to watch that unravel. But other than that, like, gotta get rid of Teresa. Just like Melissa, the sister duo, y'all could thrive elsewhere, just not on Bravo, not on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Not on Real Housewives of New Jersey. I know Teresa, I think she's doing House of Villains. They said she was doing Traders, but maybe they got it mixed up. But I know she's doing House of Villains. I think I just seen an ad for her doing it the other day when I was watching the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So I can get with that. But And didn't they say she's doing a goddamn dating show? Wait, who is that? Giselle, Ashley, Luann, and is that Teresa with them? I don't know if that's Teresa with them, but no. Why the fuck would it be Teresa? She's married, Darius. Anyways, yeah, Teresa. I don't know. She could do something else. They're definitely not gonna get rid of Teresa and her daughters. So she'll be good. She'll be around. I almost forgot to say the season highlight for Teresa. It's gonna be her tipsy and Tulum party, of course. That's a no-brainer. She didn't really do too much for me this season except try to go after Marge, and then it backfired. So yeah. And even at the tipsy and Tulum party, she wasn't really the highlight for me. It was more so Danielle Cabral who was like turning it up for me. So yeah. I almost forgot to say the other highlight for me for Teresa, when Jim Festa had a party and Teresa started picking up all the candy and throwing it on the floor. Like, she was mad because she was talking to Jennifer about what Rachel and like John were like saying to her. That was actually funny. That's what I'm talking about. Like, she has some funny moments. Let's go to the next person, which is Jennifer Aiden. Alright, so it goes without saying, like, Jennifer Aiden is rich as fuck. So, of course, we want to see her on our TV screens. Are you dumb? Like, how many housewives do you know with all of those bathrooms? I mean, let's just call it what it is. Because it allows us to get that luxury factor that we love about the housewives. Which I think all of these girls on this show, specifically New Jersey, they're all, like, wealthy in their own right. Like, they have nice houses. I just think that it's a pro for Jennifer specifically because I can't really find too many other pros about Jennifer. Because I gotta be honest with y'all, Jennifer is just not. I mean, let me not do that. Jennifer, she can be funny and fun at times, which is another pro. I think when she's not around Teresa and when she's with other girls, like, I think she's really fun. When she gets drunk, she can be fun. Except for when she gets mad and drunk, I don't like that. But I like when she's fun and like happy. And the other time, she can be funny. Her children can be funny, especially her daughter. I think that Jennifer plays like victim and she's like manipulative. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think she does things and she likes to kind of hide her hand in a way. But then when she doesn't hide her hand, she kind of like she tries to like justify the shit that she does, and I don't like that. So that's a con. But I think that she has funny children, so that's a pro. And then I think that she can be funny and fun at times, so that's a pro. The marriage is crumbling, like I said about Teresa, so that's a pro and a con, because, you know, do we want to see the marriage crumble? No. But does it make for good TV? Yes. And then every time we see Bill Aiden, he just looks like he's fed the fuck up. Like, he's like, oh God, what did my wife do now to somebody? Or what now? Like, oh God, like, she's always in drama. Like, I can't speak for y'all, but to me, it comes across like Bill Aiden be so fucking sick and tired of having to deal with his wife and her drama and her shenanigans. He just be ready to get on with his life. And I don't think their marriage is going to last too much longer. And if it does last, I think it'll be because, like, the traditional things. So I would say maybe that's why it will last. I'm not here to say that Bill doesn't love Jennifer, but I just don't, you know, I don't see it for them lasting for too much longer, y'all. I really don't. A season highlight for Jennifer Aiden, I'm going to say, of course, the Tipsy and Tulum party, just like it was for Teresa, because that was what we talked about the most for her this season was Danielle. Like, she really used Danielle to a fucking T for her storyline this season. I mean, besides Danielle, what else was Jennifer really talking about? Helping Teresa take down Marge or whoever else Teresa needs to take down? Like, that's regular. So, yeah, another season highlight for her was the puppy party. And that's the party where she had the hairstylist lady come and spill information about Danielle. And I'm saying that it's a highlight, not in a positive way, but it's a negative thing. It's a negative highlight. Because stuff like that, like, I hated every single part of the lady coming to the party trying to like expose Danielle, because that's the type of stuff that Teresa always used to try to do to Melissa. She used to always try to have somebody come and like, oh, did you hear Melissa? Like, Melissa used to be a stripper, or Melissa used to do this. And she'll have somebody come around on camera and say it about the person so we can't say it directly came from her mouth. So she can act like it's like a big problem. Like, girl, bye. Like, you ain't hear that in the streets. Or maybe you heard it in the streets. I don't know. But the fact that you decided to bring it on camera and try to use this for like a storyline and like, try to put like the hairstylist in and like make it like this big thing, like that it really wasn't. That was corny. I didn't like that. And that right there is another highlight for Jennifer Aiden, which is why I'm gonna get to, I don't see her on a reboot. I think Jennifer actually would do good on a reboot with Rachel and Danielle. But she don't know how to act. Her attitude sucks. I don't think that she has a bone of humbleness in her body. Like, I can see all the other girls being humble on this cast. Like, I can see Rachel, Marge, Melissa, Dolores, Teresa, Even Teresa, I can see. Even Teresa being humble. I can see Danielle being humble. I don't get humble vibes from Jennifer. I don't get I don't get a sense that she's a humble person, and so I don't like that. But I do think that she would be good in the reboot. But also, I don't want old drama. And she's also proven that she can't be trusted with like the whole Melissa's old nose controversy. Like that was just too messy. I don't know if y'all know about that. If y'all don't know, y'all need to get hip. Pop Culture with Balls is this podcast. They're like basically telling like all the ins and outs of everything that happened this season. I recommend y'all go listen to it. A lot of information there that gives perspective on the season. If you thought that the season was boring, you definitely will love that podcast. But for that reason, I don't think that she should be on a reboot either. I definitely don't think that the company should work with her anymore. She doesn't seem like she cares though. She seems like she's gonna go count her bathrooms and she's gonna be happy and rich. Love that for her. Don't even want to see her in a cameo or friend of capacity. I think that Jennifer Aiden is just proving herself time and time again to be just a nasty, messy person. I really think that she can be fun, but she's taking it too far. So let's move on to the next person. We got Danielle. I think the fact that Danielle always wanted to be on television is a pro and a con. The con comes in where you can see a little bit, maybe she's doing this for television. The dynamic with her husband and her kids is really good. I love seeing them together. But also her father, her brother, like the fact that she's been talking about this for 2 seasons now, it makes me really interested in it to see like, why the hell aren't you talking to your family for real? Because you've been talking about this now, it's starting to bother me. And I remember the girls thought she was lying last season because she didn't give enough details, and I thought the same thing. And it's just like she kind of still isn't giving enough details. That's because we focused on so much bullshit this season. Like I said, we're focused on all this Teresa nonsense. We can really be focusing on Danielle, and we can zoom more into that storyline. I think that's a pro that she has an interesting family dynamic, but also a pro that she's funny. She has her funny moments, and she actually does stuff with her life. Like we get to see her shake and move on her storyline. Kids on Kids Bob. We got the fashion show, the bougie kids, alongside Melissa. Like Melissa makes it shake and move too, but like I said, she doesn't have that wow factor, and I hate to say that about her, but I just got to. But yeah, back to Danielle. She does her thing. Like she does her thing on here. So I gotta say, I will keep Danielle for the reboot. Yes, she's a breath of fresh air like Rachel. I think it's a con that she can be violent though. I don't like that. She has to chill. Not to say that we don't like violence from our housewives, because that would be a lie. Not to say that we like it, you know, but shit happens, right? But I think that shit can't keep happening. Like you gotta chill out a little bit, Danielle. Like not too much in one season, you know. Like so she gotta chill with that violence stuff. That's a con. But yeah, before I forget, the highlight for Danielle Cabral was the Tipsy and Saloon party, of course. And what else was the highlight for Danielle? I want to say that will probably be it. I don't want to make stuff up. But yeah, she can stay for a reboot. I would keep her on a reboot. Yes. Yep. We're going to talk about the friend ofs now. And we're going to start with Jen Fessler. I'm going to say that Jen Fessler really grew on me, honestly. Like, that's a pro. She really grew on me. Because I did not like Jen Fessler in the beginning. I thought Jen Fessler really was like... I thought she was like everything Jackie is, like a switch sider. I didn't like the fact that she came in as Marge's friend. And I felt like she was really like dissing Marge. But then I had to think about it. If I was in Jen's shoes, like... I feel like she was really trying to stick it to Marge and let Marge know, like, girl, you don't run me. Like, I can speak to whoever I want to speak to. So for that, I give her a pro and a con because it shows she has her own mind. But I thought the con part was where it came in where it was like, you don't really have your friends back. Like, I can't really trust a girl like that, which is what I thought about Jackie. This is why she grew on me, because if she really did show that she had Marge's back. So a season highlight for Jen Fessler definitely was when she let Marge know that Teresa was having that sit down at her house with her lawyer. I forgot what his name is. James Leonard? Jenny... I forgot what his name is, but yeah, Teresa was having that sit down, and Jen Fessler didn't go, so that made me look at her a little bit different. That's when I was like, okay, like maybe you ain't as bad as I thought you were, because I'm like, if Jen Fessler would've went to that goddamn sit down, I'd been like, okay, like come on, like ain't enough thirst in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like if there was a reboot, I don't see a reason for her to continue with the show, but you know. Did I enjoy my time with Jen Fessler? Yes. And if the show was to not be recasted, would I keep her around? Yes. But if we're doing a reboot, then I would say that Jen Fessler has to go, unfortunately. And we get the last friend of, which is Jackie Schneider. Now, Jackie. I'm so disappointed in Jackie this year. Honestly, this season was so... It just wasn't good for Jackie. It wasn't good. That was a con. She switched up and I can't trust her. That's another con, that she can't be trusted. It's a pro and a con that she's smart. It's you're so smart, but you're really not that smart because you got outsmarted by Marge. Because what you didn't know was the universe works in mysterious ways. I don't know if Jackie knew that Marge had that piece of information in her hand about her meeting up with the ex-girlfriend, but she should have expected it. I don't know why she thought she'd be able to meet up with that ex-girlfriend as messy as she is. You don't trust people that messy, which is why I can't trust Jackie, because of the fact that you were even having this lady in your house to begin with. This whole time you were sitting here acting like you don't know how she got in the group at all. Like, you didn't even budge. You let Marge take the fucking blame for all of it. So for that reason, I can't trust Jackie, because if Jackie would have came out a long time ago, like Teresa said, her reason for meeting with the girl was justified. Like, you wanted to get back at Teresa. Like, okay, that's the Housewives, right? Whatever. Would I prefer them to meet up with people from people's past? No. But like, is it new to the Housewives? No. So I can see why Jackie did what she did. But the fact that you let Marge take the fall for it this whole season, and then you still was lying. You still were lying when you were confronted about it at the sit down in the finale. So I can't trust you, Jackie. Can't trust you. And you're too vulnerable. It's like, vulnerability, okay, that's a pro and a con. I'm gonna say that's a pro and a con, because you want your housewives to be vulnerable, right? But then you don't want them to be too vulnerable, because then that reveals all your tricks. And see, that's what Marge thrives at, is that she's vulnerable, but she's not too vulnerable. She's not vulnerable in the sense that she's gonna let you sit there and judge her for mistakes that she's made in her past, or like the way she is. She's vulnerable in the sense that she gets mad when you fuck with her. But I think Jackie, she's the opposite. Like, she gets vulnerable. You can see her weaknesses. It's easy to fuck with her. And she cracks. And she cracked at the finale. And I think for that reason, if there is a reboot, if we were to keep the cast, Jackie is done. Her time is finished. She's done. She's done. I don't see a reason for Jackie to continue. I don't want Jackie on the show anymore. She disappointed me, because I really used to like Jackie. Jackie came across to me as somebody that, like, I don't know if she had a plan trying to meet the ex, or I don't know if she had a plan this season to, like, maybe get back at Teresa. I don't know. But the way she was coming off this season, like, I thought Jen Fessler was Nick Ryan. Like, no. Jackie was riding. Like, she was riding bad. Like, it was bad. Like, the way you just was willing to just be friends with Teresa and act like all that stuff she did to you didn't hurt you in the past. But the way you had smoke for Marge was crazy. And I just can't believe how everybody didn't see at the beginning of the season that this is why Marge had an issue with Jackie. But, you know, whatever, to each their own. You know, you like who you like. But yeah, would I keep her on the reboot? No. And would I keep her on the cast if we wanted to do a reboot? No. But hey, that's how I feel about the whole cast. We're gonna get into what I think I see for next season, and the cast, the franchise, and all that stuff. I heard some rumors about there being like a recasting of like football wives or athletes' wives. Now, I don't know if you guys know, there used to be a show called Wags that was on E. It was like wives and girlfriends of sports players, I think. But I don't want to see that for New Jersey. I don't want to see that. I think honestly, they can just discontinue Jersey as a location for the Housewives in general. Like how they did for Dallas and DC. Like, you don't have to continue carrying on. Like, let Jersey be Jersey. Let that be where the story ends. We don't need to reboot. I also feel like Jersey is one of those places that's so big and so small. It's kind of like, how are we going to get rid of the girls that we just got rid of? You know what I mean? Like, Jersey, I feel like, where y'all gonna look for the wealthy people to like not run in the same circle as them? I don't know. I mean, it can be done, but then again, I feel like Jersey is one of those locations I feel like they can just leave alone. Like, I get it, they want to extend the seasons, how they got Orange County with 18 seasons, and they got Atlanta with 16 seasons. But sometimes you can really just end stuff. You don't have to continue on with it, and that's big. That's a big saying for me, because I'm the type of person, like, when I like something, I don't want it to end, and I like this cast, and I don't want them to get a reboot, but I also know when it's time to say goodbye too sometimes. And I think right now they've proven to us that, you know, it's not working. It's not working. I do think there is ways that we can work the season out in the cast, but they don't want to work it out. So it's like, what can I do? What can we do? And what can the network do? The network, though, should be ashamed of themselves. They let it get this far. Like, if it wasn't for them, and they should have been disciplining people. They should have been giving people consequences for stuff like talking to bloggers and leaking screeners and doing all that stuff. They should have been doing that, but they didn't. They let everybody's egos go through the roof. And so for that reason, now y'all have created monsters that y'all can't tame. So, you know, hey, the fan base is just as toxic. I don't know. And then also, like, New Jersey, out of the franchise, is known as the sister show. Like, oh, that's the Melissa and Teresa show. Like, that's what Jersey is known as, the sister show, the family show. So I don't know. I think they can get rid of it. I think they're still gonna find ways to sprinkle Teresa and Melissa in there, though. The other girls, I don't know. Dolores, I can definitely see. Like I said, I don't know about Jen Aiden. I don't know how I feel about. I don't know if they're gonna be putting her in stuff on Peacock, and I don't know. She don't know how to act. Marge, I don't know if I don't know what I see Marge doing. I do want to see Marge still on my TV though. She's funny as hell. I like Rachel. You know, I don't mind seeing her on my TV again. But like as far as like ultimate, like what I want to see Rachel on an Ultimate Girl Ship is what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I would like to see Melissa on an Ultimate Girl Ship because I've seen it already. It was fun. I don't know, y'all. I don't know what they're gonna do with the rest of these girls. Yeah, it's really the end of an era. 14 long, strong seasons of New Jersey. So you guys tell me what you think in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see videos like this again, let me know what you want to see in the comments below. And thank you for listening.
And whatever they say, I'm sure is the best decision. And, you know, for me, there's no fear. You know, people sit there and like, oh, what if you didn't have the show? I mean, I don't know. Guess I'll go back to counting my Ferraris and all my bathrooms and go back to my fabulous life. So it's so funny when people are like, what are you gonna do? You know, just go back to being fabulous.
And whatever I say doesn't go, you know, the Bravo, you know, people above, they make the last decision, so I really can't say. Yeah, we'll see what Bravo, you know, has in store for me, you know, we'll see.
Oh, it's like scary. Like, I love what I do. I've never taken it for granted one day. I just hope whatever comes of this, I'm a part of it.